Hello YouTube, this is Telltale Computers, bringing you another video. Your host, Charlie. Today I thought it'd be something funny, since this is my last time using this test bench for a while, or say setup for that matter. We have a FM2 Plus motherboard, Asrock Fatality, FM2A88X Plus. I'll list down the comics. Oh, sorry, not comics, but the description below. Also features 16 gigs of DDR3 RAM at 1600 megahertz. But yeah, the processor is actually an APU, which means it has a CPU processor and a graphical processor on the same die. Now, I'm gonna have a little bit of fun here. I'm going to see if this APU can handle engine Heaven benchmark. I've been using this benchmark for years, so I figured why not make a funny short video, give you a little demonstration of what APU can actually do. And I'm going to open up GPU-Z, give you guys a little technical spec of the APU specifications. We have 8 ROPs, 512 shaders, test rate super low, bus width is 64-bit, bandwidth is 12.8 gigabytes a second. I'm using 2 gigs of system memory for GPU memory. Now, the only way this thing will be a lot more coherent or better if when AMD first made this APU, would increase the shader count a little higher to maybe 1,000. Would be a justification area for certain games and benchmarks or video viewing, and increase the bandwidth from level 12.8, which is based on system RAM, to maybe an indication of how to increase it by maybe twice that much, or at least the bit bus width be instead of 64, maybe 128, or maybe an eyeball like NVIDIA, maybe 96. But that's not too bad. I mean, it has OpenCL, DirectX 11, and backroom. So I mean, yeah. But as you guys can see, this is basically what it is. Now, I know the new Ryzen APUs are way more efficient, so I'm not dogging AMD about that. I'm dogging a little bit about this generation APU, which came out in 2013. Give or take a year or two. Now, the processor is a quad-core processor. I think it is 3.5 gigahertz. I could be wrong, give or take 100. As a boost clock, I do believe a 3.8. I don't know if it has a GPU boost clock, but the motherboard BIOS maxes out 900 megahertz. So I assume that'd be the boost clock, maybe. I could be wrong, but just shot in the dark. But here we go. I'm gonna set this to low because why not? Now it's set for 1080p. It's the revolution of the monitor, so why not? Here goes. Now I know back in the day I'd play Left 4 Dead 2, Team Fortress 2, and other Valve style games, no problems, with a decent frame rate of like 30ish to 40ish FPS back in the day. And the old Heaven benchmark, I was able to get a little higher, but not much higher. Mainly because my RAM speed was a bit faster back then versus what I have now. Because I was running 1866, which increased the bandwidth a little higher. Not much higher, but a little higher. So, anyways, let's have a little fun here. I'm gonna hit benchmark it, and right now it's getting an average of 11 FPS. It's not the greatest, but it's just a quick little video demonstrating the capabilities of APU in low settings for Heaven's benchmark. Now, after the benchmark is over, I will enable installation and show you guys that as well. So sit back, enjoy the funny benchmarking video of APU. I got nothing. So here we got the ship. Now I wonder if they got some of their ideas from this benchmark from like Final Fantasy or Warcraft, because judged by the designs of the ships and the other stuff they use in this benchmark, it looks strikingly familiar to a lot of that stuff. Like this ship here looks very close to the Stormwind's battleships, not the big Stormbreaker one, but the smaller ones. And also resembles a lot of Final Fantasy IX characteristics of the airships and buildings. Not so much WoW style buildings, but definitely Final Fantasy IX style buildings. So, here's what it is. Look at the Dragon from Spyro. Maha. That's still weird how that game started out with all the dragons encased in stone, and Spyro has to go up and touch them to release them. Really makes no sense. Just so sidetracked. But let me know in the comments below what you guys think of that little Spyro comment, or like WoW or Final Fantasy IX's striking resemblance to this benchmark. I'm kind of curious what you guys think as well. So, going to the little gray graph in the corner of the screen, we're on scene 14 of 26. Max frame rate so far is 19.8. Minimum frame rate was 9.2. Average frame rate currently is 12.6. So, APU. I mean, given that it's only 12.8 gigs of bandwidth and 8 ROPS, I am not really that disappointed overall, because overall it's not doing that bad consistently of what is given limitation wise. But if you add like an R9 graphics card to the system as well, you can actually crossfire them together, which I guess would be a benefit. I never did understand that concept of AMD's APUs back in the day, so it is what it is. Like the first APU I ever bought was the 5800K, and that thing was pretty beefy back then because I was already running Left 4 Dead 2, no issues. But given that what the thing is based off of, like Counter-Strike and whatnot, all those games don't really require a high amount of graphics to run. So that's probably why. I did have a laptop from Acer that had a 5800K APU with a dedicated video card fed together, which ran Black Ops 2 with like 45 to 50 frames a second. I think the resolution was not 16:9, but I think it's just below 1080p. Oh, 720p. Precisely. Something right in the middle of that area. So it wasn't too bad. It was playable. Here's the last scene of the benchmark. Woo! So there we have it. Average frame rate 13. Score 327. Let's exit this out. Now I'm going to turn on cancellation if it's available, and I'll see how low the frame rate drops then. So we'll put moderate, and we're going to run again. Not doing a whole benchmark, just giving a little demonstration of cancellation with the APU. No need to run through another benchmark. That's a little bit slower now. That's hilariously funny. didn't actually affect the frame rate. So, just for 16 gigas for you guys, I am increase tessellation. Settings. It's not really worth putting a VSync on because the low frame rate, because I'm on to 75 Hz. But I will do some stupid shit for you guys and enable 8x8 of this scene and see what the hell happens. Just for shits and giggles. Now, if it loads, that's a whole nother ball game. And excuse the background noise from my AC unit, because it's awfully hot where I live at the moment. We're getting 7 frames a second with maxed out eye candy. Now, let's see if we can crash the system. I got an Ultra 8X. With just low 8X, we were getting only 7. So I assume 2, maybe 3 frames a second on this. That would be my intake on my input on it. If it can even load at those settings. Because after this test is over with, I'm going to swap this out with a Intel i5. I think the 3rd generation i5, I think it was the 2nd or 3rd gen i5. I'm going to swap it out. Because apparently, I was going to do an SLI video with this motherboard setup, but apparently this motherboard here doesn't actually accept SLI. It's Crossfire only. So, that's why when I tried it, it failed. So, anyways, I'm excited here for this thing that goes poof on me. And I'm going to bring up my utility for heat. And Specky is a nice free tool for that. Besides, gives you information about all types of other stuff. It's similar to, it's not as in depth as hardware monitor is, but it's not bad either. I mean, hell, it works. Now all the settings will load after it stops checking for updates. Now I'm assuming this. No, that's not too bad. I assume the APU graphics probably ramped up to probably about 60 to 70. It's usually about the average. So now Furmark, though, on the other hand, it can actually handle that, but probably maybe a little better. So that'd be the last test for this APU. Yeah, I forgot I had that on here. So I do apologize. Next to that, we'll do a custom preset. We'll max this out just for the hell of it. This test takes 1 minute to run, so it's not that bad. It's if it can even run at 1080p at 8x. So, and as you can tell, it's not even getting there. You're getting 2 frames a second. I'm gonna exit this because it's that kind of pointless to waste. Alright, let's take 8x off there. This is my APU reacts to my inputs. Now what I do is basic 1080p test. Now we're only at 2 FPS per second at 8x, and you assume it will double in frame rate at least, but it's not. You're getting 1 FPS. Alright. Well, enough of the shenanigans. I'm going to retire this test bench to future needs. And there you guys have it. Some fun little crap to whatever you want to call it. I'm going to pick up, I got a Ryzen think it's 2nd generation APU come in the mail. So I'll do a side by side comparison once I receive that, whenever I do. But for now, I'm going to swap this out for the Intel board and give you guys a rundown of similar tests I ran on this board. See if there's an increase or decrease versus running them on Intel. And then eventually I'm going to go hit Ryzen and then break out my old i7 processor and see if there's any difference in fluctuation with these test marks, or benchmarks I should say. So, without further ado, you guys take care. See you guys later.